Now you share your presentation.
Share. So I have to share. What do I have to share?
Entire screen.
The entire screen. All right. Let's do that and share. Okay. Hello. It doesn't seem to be working. Could you try? Oh, is that sharing now? No, it's not.
Full screen.
I don't think it's sharing.
It's share.
Presentation screen कर दूँ?
Presentation ये है.
I don't think we can do it.
No.
Maybe.
Now you start.
I can start?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So what I will do is we're going to run this session. Oops. We're going to try running this session. I'm going to open up the Socrative session because we're going to do some question and answers during this to make it interactive. So I wanted to show you something. I want to show you how this works. And normally then I do the teacher login, which is here. All right. And this will show you how this Socrative works. And now password. Oh. Okay. Right. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to launch a quiz. I've set this one already, and this is weather briefing, early warning of hazardous weather. And I want to show you this to show you that it is confidential, that you're going to be asked questions, but only you will know the answer to these questions. And the best way to do that is to actually, sorry, this is very fiddly. Let's do it again. All right. So it's going to be teacher paced. So I basically answer the question, ask the questions, and we check the answers, and we don't require names. And then now I launch it. Now, you've all gone into the QR code, is that right? So you should be able to see the first question. Could you refresh your screen? Are you able to see this question? Oh, of course, the instructions. Here we go. All right, we got it. So the instructions are, you either use the room is AOM-SUC14TE. Can you see that? AOM. So when you get to the QR code, you will have to get the room to get into. The room is going to be AOM-SUC14TE. If you have trouble logging in, I have prepared with my smartphone the QR code here. So anybody got trouble using the QR code? Hands up. Because I have a large version that you can scan very easily. But this morning is going to be a little bit different. I thought today was going to be, wow, so easy, but you can see. Sometimes when you make a forecast, it doesn't always come through. Does anybody need to scan the smartphone, the code? You've got it? Once you've got it, please put your password. Okay, anybody else need to set up passwords? Smart. Got it? Got it? Anybody got it? Got it? Got it? So you have the first question? Yeah. All right, anybody not got the first question? Oh, right. All right, we'll leave it for the moment. Just keep it logging in. Who's already been able to log in? Who can see the questions? Who is still waiting to log in? Anybody who can't log in? Let's log in. All right. In the interest of time, because I do want to be punctual, we have to catch up on a little bit of time. Let's get started with the session. And oh, it's all right. We have to adapt. All right.
We can just move.
Yeah, that might. So I can sort of move around. That's it. Beautiful. Got it. All right. So let's get started with my session. Maybe you can already start answering the questions if you've been able to log in once you are in. So my session is a weather briefing, early warning of hazardous weather based on satellite data. All right. So I'm Bodo Zeschke. I'm a teacher at the Bureau of Meteorology Training Center. I'm also the point of contact of the Australian VLab Center of Excellence. And I'm the AMSUC ICSC liaison for training. You see me scuttle around and working with the IMD, our IMD host. So I'm trying to do my best to help assist in any way I can. All right, so let's get started. Now, hopefully, is anybody not been able to get into Socrative yet? Who's not been able to get in yet? Are you in, Alan?
Yes, sir.
Have you put your vote in as well? All right. So now we can check the votes. Let's do that. This is now I want to introduce you quickly to Socrative. I was introduced to Socrative during CalMet 2000 and.
Just hide this.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hi. All right. Thank you. So what we have at the question here, can you see the question? It asks you, what kind of work do you do? Tick all that apply from the list below. I can see 27 have answered. There are 33 logins, 28, 29, but I have no idea who you are because it's anonymous. But you know what answer you've picked. So what I do then is I do show results, and you can see that 35% of you are operational forecasters. The next big group is researcher, 23%. The next big group is shared between technical support for weather forecasters and other. So anybody who's answered other who might want to talk at this point, what do you work in? Yep. All right. Thank you very much for that, Mary. So you can see it's actually quite interactive using this technique. Now let's get back to our presentation. And okay, so what are we going to cover? I've timed this. Interaction 39 minutes. 5 minutes. This where looking at how to capture all that in one view. Application of it is some really neat AI, and they can actually examine yourself. I will show you some techniques and the algorithms also which you can use that to get more information. Brief session on delay in satellite latency, which is quite important when you're monitoring satellite. Examined here. So what hazardous examined here? We'll look briefly at Lake Ash. Socrative question I'm going to go to now. Again, I'll show you how that works. We go back to the web, and this already I go on to the second question. We have 5 altogether. So what are the main hazardous weather elements that you need to monitor and warn against in your country? So could you please type in, and it can be more than one. And I can see 3 have already answered, 4 have answered. You can see that there. But again, I have no idea who you are. 9, 10 have answered. This is exactly how I teach to my students at the training center, and they love it because it's very interactive. It gets you a chance to put in your vote. Anybody who's come late, I'm sorry. We're going to have to, you're going to have to sit back on this one, and we'll do the interactive session this afternoon. 27 we have, and also the data gets collected, gets kept. If you move the, yeah, okay. Fine. All right, let's check it. 30. Let's show the results. All right, so you can see right away, many of you thunderstorms, and that's why this afternoon session is going to be so good, because we're going to focus on thunderstorms. I've got an hour and a quarter for that one, so really looking forward to it. Tropical cyclones, pretty important. Flooding. What about other events? So anybody who chose other events, what might they be? Cold waves, so cold snow events. Okay, great. Hail, okay, all right, hail. So that comes out of the thunderstorms. I should have included that in thunderstorms. Not only heavy precipitation, gusty winds, lightning, but hail too. So thanks very much. That'll improve next quiz that we do. All right, let's go on to looking at, see, so the sessions are PowerPoints, but some questions thrown in. Let's get a quick overview of hazardous floods. So a quick overview of whether that's region of all things. All of these things will be forwarded to you afterwards. So you don't have to worry, you can take a photo if you want to. You page. Or this was actually the regional 2024. All right, so sorry. Cyclone things where because you see around the good thing is you see, you actually see the microwave disease propagating. This one, windy. What makes windy? So first of all, there's a free version. Second, you got right. It's not independent of the satellite. So move outside of it, can go over India. It can go over. If you're in the Middle East, you can see it there. You can just oops, sorry. Again. And just that you can pick up right on the occasion a good view. Into it and notice more for system. So you pick the cover but I didn't pick those because I wanted in specific things here that's Jackal GS. Here I have the idea of area potential flooding. Rain is just rain intensity. Limited at high intensity. Yesterday about RGB composites, and so basically allow you to focus in on areas of interest. The dust event, the dust some nice eruptions. See the difference between the red ash, blue, sulfur dioxide, and yeah, mix it. The sweet you ice crystals coming out of the ice crystals in possible storm severity. And if you look at is both through micro or other spots on there. Focusing your overview analysis book, thinking about forecast. In the bureau, we can focus on the warnings. Like regular every day, basically giving update of threats. So hopefully it gives you an idea of the resources that you can share overview. Why is it important to me? Because discussions in cover the colleagues from me, from Japan, from China, from the Pacific Islands, we are more possibly from our area. So and this reads this way. All right, let's have a look at applications. Now it's getting a bit fun. This gives you time that going from the term time. And we're focusing on the day, one day, and maybe going to synopsis, 1,000 kilometers, maybe going up to volcanic eruptions. Let's see what happens if you see. Yep. Sorry. All this. I was. Okay. Yeah. Am I going too fast? How much time have I got? I have 10:30, right? 15 to 20. Right, so what happens if you see or one way of having the data more rapidly, you have it and it's important because normally you get more requests, you get. Here's a nice example of how it actually works. So you have 1,000 kilometer by 1,000 kilometer, and that domain gets placed over whatever synoptic feature is of interest. All right. So you can order that beforehand. And I think from talking to JMA, usually you can have to make the order 2 days in advance, but you can actually get the data faster as well. Maybe I'll double check that with my colleagues. The second one is the geocontact brackets. So we have another Socrative question. Let's do that. So what I've got to do with Socrative is move it on to the next one. All right, 3 out of 5. Let's see. It asks you, have you used JMA Rapid Scan? Have you used the GK2A? Have you used another service that provides data every 2 or 2.5 minutes? Not 10 minutes, but 2 to 2.5 minutes. maybe from Meteosat has it over the Western Hemisphere. Am I talking too loud? Or I'll talk a bit quiet and slower. So I have to show nerves of steel because the time is ticking away and I must choose my words carefully and not too loud. All right, that's okay. All right, so we'll wait, see if we can get 30. It'll be a good representation. Maybe in the interest of time, let's check. Oops. Uh-oh. I think that's okay. All right, let's do it again. Right. There we go. So a third of you have used Himawari request, but a number of you have used neither service or another rapid scan. So what would be another rapid scan service that you've used? Yep. Meteosat. So you have two different satellites which have the rapid scan on Meteosat. Okay. What time interval is that? A rapid scan? Is it 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes? 15 minutes. 2 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay, right. And that's really useful for monitoring hazardous weather. Okay, let's keep going. There is actually the CMA Chinese, the Korean KMA and JMA's rapid scan areas so that basically you can capture a number of areas of our region. Okay, have a look at the algorithms. There are a number of algorithms. This afternoon, you have the RDA product. The area. Yep. Lightning this afternoon. So only hit on it and can anticipate thunderstorm formation. And some of them are on the web, actually. Okay, so here we have our first example of animations at different speed. It's a tropical low near Fiji. Now, one thing you might notice is on the top left-hand side, it's 2 frames per second. If you look at the bottom right-hand side, that's 15 frames per second. You notice as you transition from 2 to 15 frames, becomes alive. The system starts to, it's like a living. You start seeing very subtle features that are not visible in the 2 frames per second. So why is that happening? It's happening because you have a phenomenon known as persistence of vision. If you see something and you close your eyes, sometimes you see the after image. If a new image comes in, before it fades, your mind creates motion. So it's a bonus. It's like you can look at this faster animation and get more information because your mind is working with you. You don't have to think, what's that doing? Your mind is creating the animation. So it's a really neat trick. So for example, if you're looking at this low and you're trying to analyze it, of course you could use the SIMS, the winds at low and high levels, atmospheric motion vectors that you can see on the top right, bottom left. You can use the systems, the shear and so forth, and the as well. But actually, the animation tells you that already. And if you look at this top area here, there's actually no atmospheric motion vectors there, but you can infer the motions, confluence, there. So this is giving additional information. So I encourage you, wherever possible, to speed up your animations if you can. Here's another example. This time I've gone Formula One, 50 frames per second. If you look at if you look at that the smoke, now by speeding it up even faster, you can actually see additional motion in there. With smoke, what's really important is the strength of the updraft, because that can help to energize the fires. And by the same token, if you get rotation in the system, or you get smoke that's blowing into higher areas as well, that gives an idea that the fire front is strengthening. So how do we analyze this? Here I have an individual and better rendering of rotation. You see rotation where the overshooting top's coming through. Please have a look. Can you see rotation? Rotating with the center here. Like this. You can't see. All right. So some of you can't, some can. All right. So can you see the punching in your hat and starting? The spot is the fire is getting strong. Can you see? Again, if you have very subtle features like volcanic ash, which could be a problem in aeroplanes, volcanic ash is not so clear to see. Try speeding up the animation. This is Sangya Api, which is over Indonesia. Can you see the eruption, the crazy eruption, the almost circular kind of ash coming out of it? Can you see the fanning out of the ash? If you did this at 2 frames per second, it would be much harder to see. Here, you're using your mind. Your mind is generating the motion for you. It's doing the job for you. You are working as a superhuman instead of just a normal human. You're utilizing part of your mind that only, oh, not another forecasting shift. And it's more exciting to look at this imagery. You actually feel, wow, I want to look at satellite imagery. And here I've just highlighted. Published a research paper together colleagues in 2019. About half of Europe, the new we are asked out of this shift. Then shows is creating out when most of the shift this feed during the so you need to have where you're running over such as in aspect of TV. I'm afraid we don't have time to say 3. Apologies. We work out the right away and slowly up. Listeners not. Question? information that gives me a better idea too, as somebody who works within the VLab, about the capacity within our region. So questions coming up now. It asks you, how fast can you animate satellite imagery at your workplace? Could you try answering that? And you can choose if it's, so it has A is slow only. I can't do it 10 frames per second, but B is slow and fast. Sometimes the image loop takes too long to load, so sorry, photo. Please go on to the next topic. I cannot animate imagery at all in my workplace, so let's see if you can answer that. What I like about this too is that you get a chance to do something. I'm seeing you all answer the question, not just looking, so this is cool. All right, we'll give it just a little bit more and we'll check it. Well, I think maybe in the interest of time, last calls for drinks. All right. Okay, so 57% can do fast animation. So at least half of you, when I'm talking to you, going, yes, I can try this at home. I'm going to do it. Notice that 9%, it takes too long for the images to load. Maybe if you load it already, and once you've loaded it, try to speed it up. Perhaps that's an option. What about other? Anybody have anything about other? Sorry? So you have to download the images first and then animate, and make it more complex. There are some websites that I'll show you this afternoon. Hopefully that will make it really quick for you. Okay, so we're on the home run now because I have one small topic only left. I'm glad I timed myself on this beforehand. A big lesson, if anybody's doing presentations, or always spend time timing yourself. Go through the presentation. To rush it up. So, if you've attended ASC, this to the bottom. It's a file. So you want just go that satellite. The satellite. A little bit more easy. So through a to work that out. But so do I have oh my wonderful, I can do it. Yes. But when I did that, when I checked on the satellite, you can see the sample on the left side. That when see note that's in Melbourne, and it's a very tough and I look at both color and the red. You have to think about a big bonus because you can imagine when you do this calculation, this was times that's the start of this. You're in Fiji, for example, or you're so you can take that off. 6 minutes into the scan. Australia, 6 minutes, which means you can get off your time. Now for Australia, instead of being 15 minutes, 10 minutes, which is same time. Whilst I flick between, and we'll get this back. All right, final question coming up. And this one asks you about your, do you know the delay in the time of overpass? In other words, when the image is taken and when you're receiving that, because that's important when you're analyzing severe weather. You want to know how much of a delay that image has just come in. The image is just saying, oh, the severe thunderstorm started to develop. How long ago did that happen? How does it relate to the radar that have come in? How does it relate to the surface observations that have come in? And these statistics are good too, because they give me an idea of future training. So wait a little bit longer, and we're just about, I think, on the summary slide is coming up shortly. Be nice to get 30 answers. We've got 26 last calls. In the interest of time and so 5 to 15 minutes, a majority, but some of you, oh my goodness, you see, it's like a car race. 15 to 60 is almost taking over. So that means we have to think of other ways of using satellite data, which I will talk about to you this afternoon. All right. All right, and so I've summarized tropic cyclones. We look at sorry. Rapid scan, but more. So we look at smoke. So to summarize, the weather is for a quick overview. Many of you know already, and how it can increase the speed of the imagery. Your monitor severe, you need to know because that helps in the region train in the VIA track. And I'll leave it at the part. Well, I'll leave it to donation for the next step. Can I just
Hello there. Anybody else there? Anybody? Hello.
I can hear you, Rian.
Oh, I just want to share the content, but I think Bodo not close the share content for us, so we cannot share our contents, I think. Can you hear me, William?
Yep.